It's Pit Row. I'm Ralph. Let's get into it, guys. We had an exciting week at Roval. We need to get ourselves ready to go to Vegas. So let's hop into it very quickly. You can find this podcast at www.tigerbombsae.com. Pit Row is a Tiger Bomb sports audio entertainment podcast. You can watch this on the Pit Row page on the website or listen to it. You can also catch us on YouTube. And then for that matter, every other way you want to search for us: YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio, X, Facebook. Just search for Tiger Bomb Sports Audio Entertainment. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever. But you'll be able to catch every new episode of Pit Row. This is where we talk NASCAR Sprint Cup Series action. We break down all the races. We are barnstorming towards the championship run in Phoenix, and we are almost to the round of 4. We are in the round of 8, as it were. We saw some eliminations happen at the Roval, and we're going to talk about that. And then take a look forward at Vegas because the heat is on, the stakes are high. We know that there's some guys that got to take care of business. But before we get a little too ahead of ourselves, getting back to Roval. So we go green. And 25 laps into the stage, Reddick out front early. Then Bell, Wallace, Suarez, Allmendinger, Busch, Elliott, Logano, Gibbs, and Chastain. Larson racing from the back of the pack after failing to qualify. So he's up 7 spots early. He starts moving very early, very quick, y'all. So 4 laps in, basically, he's moving. Eric Jones spins though, so no caution. He gets turned back around. Brad K missed the chicane, so he has to do a pass through. Bad break for him. That'll put him down the lap. And then 7 to go at this point. Guys needing a green flag pit. But we see playoff contenders looking for points, staying out there in the front. So Bell with the last minute pit decision. Opting to abandon 9 points, but he actually didn't fall that far back. So what we saw basically was if you are trying to win the race, aka you're not in the playoff picture, right, or you need a win to advance, these guys trying to win the race, you got a green flag pit, right? But guys that's racing for playoff stage points, trying to stack, staying out there in the front, need these 10 points, need these 5 points, right? So that's what I'm getting at there. Bell, for his point, was trying to decide where am I on this side, and at the last minute, he decides I'm not gonna stay out there for the stage points, and he actually decides at the last minute to go to pit road. Now, the cool thing about this is he actually did not fall that far back. He only lost 3 spaces basically, and so. Only 3 points lost. So basically, he doesn't surrender 9 points. He only surrenders 3 points. He still gets 6 points. That's awesome. And everybody in front of him is going to have to pit now at the end of the stage. So looks pretty smart by him. Tyler Reddick takes the stage under these circumstances. Bubba Wallace is second. So as we get ready to start the second stage, drivers are choosing, and we go green again for stage 2. Reddick and the rest of that lead group at the end of the stage are stuck back in the pack now, just like we talked about. So Bell and Suarez up front for the restart. Little contact for Suarez. They were back and forth, and there's no love lost between these two. Bell clears them quickly. Elliott challenging Suarez now for third. Suarez getting moved around. Hamlin and Logano racing hard at this point. Order becomes Bell, Elliott, Suarez, Busch, Allmendinger, Gibbs, Busch, Hamlin now. Gibbs and Boucher, Hamlin now. Sorry, not Busch. Busch is ahead of him. Reddick up 8 spots since the restarts. Lap 9 of 29 in the stage. Now, Elliott will pass Bell from the inside. He just flew right by him, and Bell just lets him go, recognizing that he's a lot faster than he is. That's lap 11. Blaney starts the pit cycle with about 10 or 9 left in the stage. It looks like 6 to go. Pit road gets a little bit busier at this point in stage 2. Caution for the 78, Bilicki. Big caution. So Chase Elliott crossed the start-finish line with 2 laps left in the stage, so they will close pit row now, as Elliott was about to pit. So he just avoids the box and swerves back out. Even if he had made it down pit road, it was too late already. He'd have just had to do a pass through. But stage ends under caution with Elliott taking it. Is a tough break for him, really, is what's going on, because he wanted to do the thing that we saw Bell do, right? Where it's like, okay, I go in before the stage ends, I pit, so I'm the first guy out there, right? So tough break. There are guys who can stay out, but he ran it up until the end of his capacity. So he'll have to pit and he'll have to cycle through behind all the guys who can stay out, basically. So playoff leaders up front, content to stay out for those points. But Elliott, thinking about the win, wants to short pit and start stage 3 like 8th or ninth. That was what his thinking was. Worst case scenario for him, with the 78 getting spun around and bringing the caution out. So his day is basically dampered by this whole episode right here, which is why I'm going into such elaboration on it. McDowell's team trying to figure out why he doesn't have power steering while all this is going on. Can you imagine trying to drive a NASCAR Sprint Cup Series car at 150 miles an hour without power steering? That is the craziest thing I've ever heard of. Busch up front for the start of stage 3 now. And we are green. So Gibbs up front with Busch. Busch clears Gibbs. Allmendinger also. Byron challenging Gibbs now also. Byron slid by Logano, who's now got Buescher to worry about. AJ Allmendinger wants to put the pressure on Kyle Busch now. Gibbs let all these guys slid by Gibbs. They battle for a couple laps, and Kyle is going to let him have the spot. He recognized that AJ he can't hold him, basically. He can't hold him. Falling from the lead takes Busch out of the round of 8. He's literally leading the race. You guys see he's the last person in the round of 8. And then once he falls back to second, you see he is literally out. Like, he's not in the round of 8. So this is paramount for him. Dire consequences. So he's got to play this right. He wants to just stay in second and be there at the end and try to make the pass and win the race at the end. That's what Kyle's thinking. William Byron coming for the 8th, though, right about now. Last 4 in the playoffs at this moment are Brad K, Wallace, Chastain, and Busch. Well, at this point, we know Hamlin has advanced along with Blaney and Byron. So Hamlin has advanced on his points at this point. Just inside of 40 laps to go, it's Allmendinger, Busch, Byron, Gibbs, Buescher, Logano, and Suarez. And Kyle brings it in for a pit. Now we get the caution. McDowell goes around. He's the guy with no power steering, if you recall. So Hamlin gets caught up and spun around in this. We're still green. Hamlin corrects it. McDowell has a flat. He's trying to bring it around. And we'll see nearly everybody come to pit road before that caution comes out. Everybody's trying to beat the caution out. So literally the track empties. There's a bunch of traffic on pit road. And then we get a big wreck, huge wreck. Hamlin was involved. He got major damage. Thankfully for him, the round of 8 spot was already secured, but he got loose and he gets contact that spins him, basically. So 33 laps to go at the Roval, and a lot of guys staying out. Blaney and Elliott coming in, though. Cindric, Truex also among some takers. They're coming in. Now we restart with 31 to go. Contact through turn 1. Allmendinger and Gibbs battling. Busch flushed back to 4th easily. Big dust up. Cindric, Dillon among those involved. AJ ahead of Ty now. So they're battling back and forth. AJ and Ty Gibbs. AJ's dangerous here. He can go so far inside the turns because he's a road specialist. So he can really eat those turns, get inside there a lot further than some of these other drivers in NASCAR can do. Eric Jones goes around and into the wall. So we get the caution out there. McDowell was involved there in that wreck with Eric Jones. The thing is beat up. McDowell says they can still go. He says there's water pressure, tire pressure, let's go. Problem was they tried to get 3 wide. That's not supposed to be feasible at this track, basically. So we go green again with 27 to go, and Allmendinger with the clean restart. We get 3 wide again, which is precarious. These guys are pushing it. We're bumping. We're grinding. So it's Busch, Chastain, Brad K, and Wallace who will be out still at this point. Chastain and Elliott are battling. The order is AJ, Ty Gibbs, Busch, Byron, Logano, Reddick, Buescher. And the 15 spins around at this point, and Lally trying to get out of the way. He's getting behind the wall. He's done. So his car spins. He wrecks his car. He sees it. He tries to just, drive behind the wall, basically. Maybe he just lost control of the 15. Either way, he gets himself out of the way quickly, but he only makes it to the reblend. So they have to throw the caution, basically. He does not get out of the way. So we get our restart. And once again, AJ clears Gibbs. Bush and Gibbs with contact, though. AJ's running away from those two. That contact really helped him run away from them. Huge contact. Cindric goes around. Wallace involved. We're still green. Suarez, this is what happened. Suarez was turned into the back of the two, basically causing the dust up. So it was Bell that basically turned him. You know there's bad blood there. Bell's essentially worried at this point that at some point in the playoffs, he's got payoff coming back. Okay, so 20 to go. Suarez goes around, and we get that caution. Chastain had just pitted, and that's going to be a huge help for him. He's several points below the cut line. Guys will come to pit now with 16 to go. So he's hoping to gain spots by staying out, Chastain. Leaders staying out. You got to go back to Harrison Burton at 20 before we get guys coming in, basically. So we go restart with 14 to go. Kyle Busch with contact on the restart, but he claims second. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has a fire. He's getting out. There's a huge fire in that car. Caution. That's going to make us go caution. Restart again. This restart, not great for Busch. Byron overtakes him. AJ still out front by a bit now. Lots of contact through turn one in the pack again. 9 to go at this point. Chastain up 7 spots now. He won't quit. Byron running well now. Gaining on AJ Allmendinger. 3 to go now. AJ still out front, but Byron isn't far away. Kyle probably can't catch him. Gibbs is holding fourth. Logano, Reddick, Boucher behind him. White flag now. Byron made an attempt, but he's not quick enough. He cannot pass AJ. Can't catch him. AJ Allmendinger wins it. Colleague Racing gets the big W. Big emotional scene at Winter Circle, and so happy for those guys. So happy for AJ. Exciting race to watch up until the end. I think for DraftKings purposes, the big thing for me was this is the first time we saw this race not won by somebody in the playoffs still at that point. So I feel like my investment on DraftKings was really not in cars, not in the playoffs. And so if you had some of those guys, boom, you were right there, right? And so that was the difference maker. But certainly happy for Colleague. Wonder if that seals the deal for them and, getting AJ come back next year and all that. So, but anyways, we take a look forward now. We got more action coming up. As I said, we have now closed it up. We're a little tighter now. We're in the round of 8, right? We're in the round of 8. So South Point 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We go into Vegas for the 1.5 mile track. Cup purse is just over 7.7 mil. Race distance is 267 laps, so 400 miles, 400.5 miles to be exact. We'll get the stage breaks at 80, 165, and the race will end at 267. Defending winner, Joey Logano, last fall. But these next 2 races in the Cup Series, particularly, are going to take place at these 1.5 mile tracks. And so that's the first time all season that the schedule features back-to-back 1.5 milers. And so this is great for some guys. I mean, not very good for some others. In 11 of the last 12 races here at Vegas, Truex has 2 victories and just 1 result outside of the top 10. He's got 6 consecutive finishes of 8th or better. So this guy, is looking pretty good right now. At Vegas specifically, that's on 1.5 mile tracks. Okay. But on Vegas specifically, Truex has finished inside of the top 10 in the last 6 races at Vegas. And he's the only driver to finish the top 10 in all 3 races there in the next gen car. So I know I got a little bit of the same information in there. Sorry about that. But in other words, Truex is lurking. I know he's been terrible in the playoffs, but he had such a great regular season, and he coasted with that championship by so many points that he's been able to weather the storm here. Now he's got to turn it around. William Byron, basically in the round of 12, he finished no worse than second place in any of those races and picked up the win at Texas, which is how he got in the round of 8. So he's hot right now. This guy has 7 top 10s in the last 8 races, and in the last 23 races, he's got 15 top 10 finishes and 4 wins during that stretch. So, I mean, hot is hot. This guy's white hot. As far as Vegas goes, when you think about William Byron, think about this at Vegas. He's led 255 laps in the last 7 of 9 races there. So he's not unaccustomed to running in the front, basically. In the last 5 races, he's finished 8th or better 3 times, and then he won Vegas in the spring earlier this year. So you've got to be heavily invested in William Byron. Now, as far as Buescher goes, when you think of the 3 ovals that you got in the round of 8, you got Vegas, Homestead, Miami, and so Vegas, Homestead, Miami, and then Martinsville. Those are 3 ovals, right, in the round of 8. Now, Buescher has just 2 top 10 results, with his best finish in the next gen car at 13th at Homestead last year. So this is not a good stretch of the schedule for him. He's going to have to be uncharacteristically good. He's had a great season so far. He's taken a lot of steps forward. He's had a lot of first-time things happen for him. This will have to be another one. He'll have to all of a sudden have this track figured out in a way that they didn't previously have it. So we only got the 4 races left. Reddick has top 10s in 3 of the past 4 races in Vegas, and he's already right in the middle of this like solid postseason stretch. So he looks dangerous on Sunday for sure in that Michael Jordan car. The last 6 races at Las Vegas have won by 6 different drivers. The driver who's led the most laps won 3 of the last 5 Las Vegas races. So, that winner is probably going to carry your DraftKings lineup, basically. Larson, we got to mention him. He's finished in the top 10 in 9 of the last 11 Vegas starts, and he has 5 career 1.5 mile wins. So somebody who could catch a spark right now in the playoffs and carry himself to the championship. This could be a great week for Larson. So he looks like he's in a really good spot. Goodyear's going to run the same tire setup that they did at Las Vegas for last year's playoff race. And so there's familiarity for all the teams. And they're going to get 1 set of tires for practice, 1 for qualifying, and an additional 8 sets for the race. So we'll have to look at qualifying before we're sure. But I think the Toyotas are a good investment this week. If you're looking at outside of the Toyota, you got to go Hendricks. And the Fords are probably looking in on the outside, but I mean, it's anybody's game right now. So I'm not going to shy away from them. I have some interest in Logano. I have some interest in Buescher as well, even though he's not historically done well in this setup. And I think that's just because of low ownership. And he is hot right now. So I want to take advantage of that. But if it's for me, for my money, I'm working in the Toyotas. I'm working in Hendrick. But I do focus on the winners. I want to focus on the playoff guys. I'm not going to worry about a lot of folks not in the playoffs. However, I will pay attention to specifically, in my mind, some guys that help complete my lineups: McDowell, Eric Jones, and Chase Elliott. Those are 3 dudes that I think I'm okay with. Also, Ross Chastain, I've got no problem using him this week. I think this is a good track for him. But he's out of the playoffs now. I get it. So I'm just saying, and thinking about last week and failing to identify any guys not in the playoffs in my lineups, and that's probably why I lost. These are some guys you can mix in. But that's what I'm seeing for Vegas on Sunday. Hopefully you guys get a chance to watch and play some DFS. Good luck if you are. Let's win some cash. You know the deal. We'll come back next week, talk about what we saw. Get ready for the next one. Peace.